Greetings from Edu Aspirants. Our YouTube channel for academics, competitive exams, and entrance exams has also knowledge enrichment. In the series of videos on India, in the chapter 10, we will now cover Defense Part 2. Let us see what we have for you in this video. Recruitment of officers in Army. Apart from the UPSC entries which we saw in the previous video, commissioned officers are also recruited in the Army through the following entries. University entry scheme for pre-final year students of engineering colleges are selected for permanent commission in the technical arms of the Army under the University entrance scheme through a campus interview by the screening teams of the Army headquarters. Technical Graduates Course TGC for engineering graduates and postgraduates with minimum second division marks in notified disciplines for Army Education Corps are selected. The Short Service Commission Technical Entry Scheme is open for eligible technical graduates, postgraduates into technical arms as Short Service Commission officers with 1 year ante-date seniority. So if you are getting selection in 2023, you will be getting seniority from 2022. 10+2 Technical Entry Scheme, the TES, is open for candidates who have qualified 10+2 CBSE, ICSE or any state board examination with a minimum aggregate of 70% marks in physics chemistry for commission under the 10+2 TES. They undergo 1 year basic military training at the Officers Training Academy Gaya, followed by 3-year engineering degree course and 1 year post-commission training. Short Service Commission for Women is granted to women in Corps of Electronics and Mechanical Engineers, Corps of Engineers, Signals, Army Educational Corps, Military Intelligence Corps, Judge Advocate General's Branch, Army Supply Corps, Army Ordnance Corps, and Army Air Defense. This year, I must share with you, 5 women officers have got commissioned in the Regiment of Artillery also, and this is for the first time. And this is in the 3 streams: non-technical graduate, technical and postgraduate, or specialist. And this is for a period of 10 years, extendable by 4 more years purely on voluntary basis. Government of India has now granted option for permanent commission for women officers in Army Education Corps and Judge Advocate General Branch after completion of 10 years of service. NCC Special Entry Scheme for university graduates possessing NCC C certificate with minimum B grade and 50% marks in graduation examination are eligible to apply for Short Service Commission through this entry also. Judge Advocate General Entry, law graduates with minimum 55% marks in LLB between 21 and 27 years of age can apply and are called for direct SSB and medical test as Short Service Commission entry, and they can opt for permanent commission also. Recruitment of junior commissioned officers, JCOS, and other ranks, ORs. There are 11 zonal recruiting offices, 2 Gurkha recruiting depots, 1 independent recruiting office, and 59 army recruiting offices, in addition to 48 regimental centers for recruitment through rallies in the respective areas of jurisdiction. The current recruitment for JCOs and ORs comprises screening of aspiring candidates at rally site in the 1 0.6 kilometer run, followed by document checking, physical fitness tests, physical measurements, and medical examination. This is followed by a written examination, and selected candidates are dispatched to respective training centers for training. Recruitment in the Indian Navy, IN. There are two modes of induction in the Indian Navy, that is UPSC entry and non-UPSC entry. UPSC entry we already saw twice a year through NDA and Indian Naval Academy exam as permanent commission PC entries. UPSC shortlists candidates after written examinations. Thereafter, candidates are sent to the service selection boards located at Bengaluru, Bhopal, Coimbatore, and Visakhapatnam. Medically fit candidates join training at NDA, INA as cadets. INA is the Indian Naval Academy. On completion of the NDA INA training, the naval cadets are sent to training ships at Kochi for naval sea training. For the graduate special entry, the UPSC holds the Combined Defense Services Examination CDSC twice a year. BTech graduates are also eligible to appear in the examination. Successful candidates join the Indian Naval Academy at Ezimala, Kerala for the Naval Orientation course. Non-UPSC entry. The non-UPSC entries cater for both permanent commission and short service commission, wherein the applicants are invited and shortlisted at IHQ, Ministry of Defence Navy, and then sent for service selection boards SSB interviews. Recruitment for non-UPSC entries is made through SSBs for the executive, engineering, including naval architects, electrical engineering, and the education branches cadres of the 10+2 cadet entry scheme. This scheme is for permanent commission in the executive, engineering, and electrical branches of the Indian Navy. Candidates with 10+2 PCM, Physics, Chemistry, Maths qualifications after selection through the Services Selection Board are sent to the Indian Naval Academy for the BTech course. University entry scheme. The UES is a short service commission scheme. 7th and 8th semester engineering students are eligible for the executive and technical branches of the Indian Navy. Naval selection teams visit AICTE approved engineering colleges across the country to shortlist the candidates. The shortlisted candidates, based on all India merit, undergo interview at the services selection boards. The successful candidates are thereafter put through medical tests. Women officers. Women are inducted as short service commission officers in the executive, observer, ATC, law and logistics, education branch, and the naval architecture cadre of the engineering branch. Permanent commission to SSC officers. The government has introduced grant of permanent commission prospectively to the short service commission officers for both men and women of the executive branch, law cadre, education branch, and engineering branch, that is the naval architecture. Recruitment of sailors. Recruitment of males into the Navy is carried out on all India basis for the following entries. Artificer apprentices, AAS, for which the qualification is 10+2 PCM. Senior secondary recruits, SSR, qualification is 10+2, any stream of science. Metric entry recruits, MER, for recruitment of cooks, stewards, and musicians. The qualification is matriculation, that is class 10. Non-recruits, NMR, for recruitment of topaz sailors, safaiwalas, that is, and direct entry outstanding. Recruitment in Indian Air Force. Induction into the National Defense Academy NDA and Combined Defense Services Examination CDSE entries are through UPSC. The non-UPSC entries for induction into the officers' cadre are Short Service Commission for men and women, flying, NCC entry, Permanent Commission for men, ASC entry, Permanent Commission for men, ground duty officers, non-technical, Permanent Commission for men, airmen entry, Permanent Commission for air warriors, SSS technical men and women, and SSC non-technical men and women. Recruitment through service selection. Recruitment through service selection boards, Air Force selection boards, is made for flying pilot, aeronautical engineering electronics, aeronautical engineering mechanical, education branch, administration, logistics, accounts, and meteorology branches for the Air Force. University entry scheme. Final or pre-final year engineering students are eligible for induction into the technical branches of Air Force as permanent commissioned officers. Recruitment of women officers. Eligible women are recruited as short service commissioned officers in the flying, aeronautical engineering, that is for the electronics, aeronautical engineering for mechanical, education, administration, logistics, accounts, and meteorology branches. Recruitment through NCC, National Cadet Corps. University graduates possessing NCC C certificate with minimum B grading and 50% marks in graduation are inducted in Navy and Air Force as regular commissioned officers selected through services selection boards. For flying branch, cadets should have maths and physics as main subjects in class 12. Recruitment of personnel below officers rank PBORs. The selection of candidates for personnel below officers rank is carried out through a centralized selection system on all India basis, in which Central Airmen Selection Board CASB, assisted by 14 Airmen Selection Centers located at different parts of the country, carries out the recruitment. This brings us to the end of the second video in the series of videos on defense. The next video will be uploaded soon. Keep revising and best wishes for your forthcoming exams.